Here's an aspect of the David Seymour school lunch program that I don't think people consider when talking about it and discussing it, which is in an effort to make school lunches more cheaper and more accessible to students around the country. The LaBelle Group went bust. The LaBelle Group does more than just provide the school lunches. They also run a lot of the cafeterias at the schools, including the cafeteria at my school. Now, the 1,500 students at my school don't have cafeteria access, and this has happened at dozens of other schools with hundreds or thousands of students each. So now, thousands, possibly tens of thousands of students just don't have access to lunch they could go buy at school. This isn't free lunch. This is paid for lunch that they now don't have access to. This is just chips or a drink or just something to get them through a period. This is stuff that is important. And some people rely on these school lunches to eat at my school. Even I did for a short time, and even I do still sometimes. And now we just don't have that, and we don't know when we're going to get a replacement, or if we are going to get a replacement. So, it's not just that the actual shipped out free school lunches exist and are cheap, despite all their faults. I think if we're careful... Okay, here's my opinion. I don't want to really share my personal opinions on politics on this channel very much. I just want to commentate. But I have the opinion that you can change stuff around, and you can fix things, and you can make change, but it needs to be thought out. It needs to have all the factors considered, and it needs to be tested on a small scale somewhere. I'm not in favor of just implementing something countrywide instantly. But ACT and David Seymour, they didn't do that, which is weird for a conservative party. Usually, because I think that viewpoint is a conservative viewpoint. My dad is a conservative, and he has that viewpoint. I'm mildly conservative, and I have that viewpoint. And so, that's the opposite of... He just did it. And I think the reason he just did it is because... Okay. I'm going on a tangent unrelated to the video, but I think the reason he did that is just because he saw that the current school lunch system was put in by Labour, and because David Seymour cares more about ideology than he does about policy, he was like, Labour did that, Labour bad, we have to get rid of it. Which is... I don't know if that's true, but I would have appreciated him testing it, thinking about it, and consulting people. He might have consulted people, consulting more people, and doing a small-scale test before implementing it countrywide. I would have liked that. I would have actually appreciated that, Seymour. But he didn't do that. He didn't. He just did it. He just put it in without really, I think, considering the consequences. And I think that's why it's a disaster. He says teething pains, but it wouldn't have teething pains if he worked out the kinks before implementing it countrywide, right? I mean, you're always going to need to fix things when you're going from a small scale to a large scale, but you'd need to figure out a lot fewer things. Anyway, that's all. Congratulations, David Seymour. In an effort to make something cheap and affordable, you've made it cheap and accessible. You've made it expensive and inaccessible. Good job.